Rome is famous for its immense power. Its legions conquered many distant lands. Great impressive buildings rose in the city. We often remember emperors and senators. This is the Grand Rome of legend. It continues to inspire awe even today. But this is not the entire story. There was a very different side to Rome. This hidden aspect reveals much more about the realities of ancient existence. Beneath the gleaming marble, life was different. Not everyone shared in the empire's glory. Many people suffered greatly throughout their lives. Their individual stories are often forgotten. The vast empire was built on their backs. We must make an effort to look past the monuments. We need to uncover the hidden truths. These truths are frequently uncomfortable to face. Yet, they are essential for true understanding. They paint a fuller picture of the past. This image shows the stark contrast very well. Grand public structures towered over crowded slums. The wealthy elite lived in unimaginable luxury. The poor struggled daily for basic bread. This vast chasm of inequality defined Roman society. It created constant simmering tension and unease. We see this unfortunate pattern often in history. The division between rich and poor is not new. It shaped Rome in fundamental, lasting ways. Understanding this helps us understand its complexities. So Rome was truly a place of extremes. Amazing cultural achievements existed alongside deep misery. Understanding this complex dual nature is absolutely key. It helps us to see ancient Rome clearly, not as some perfect, idealized model society, but as a complex, flawed, and real place. It was full of glaring contradictions, and it harbored many dark, hidden secrets. Exploring these makes its history more compelling and far more relevant to our own times. Daily life for most ordinary Romans was hard. The city of Rome itself was incredibly overcrowded. Many people lived in tall, rickety apartment blocks. These precarious structures were called insulae. Devastating fires were a very common occurrence. Disease also spread quickly in these dense areas. Basic sanitation was a constant pressing problem. Life expectancy was shockingly low for many residents. Child mortality in particular was extremely high. Survival was a daily battle for the urban poor. The poor citizens faced constant, gnawing insecurity. Reliable work was not always easy to find. Food prices could suddenly rise dramatically. Many families relied on the state's grain dole. This was a basic handout of essential food. It was often barely enough to truly survive. Families struggled to feed their hungry children. The terrifying fear of starvation was always present. Debt could easily lead to ruin or enslavement. This precariousness defined life for the majority. Women in Roman society had limited public roles. Their lives were often controlled by male relatives, first by their fathers, then by their husbands. Legally, they were not fully independent citizens. Wealthy women could sometimes wield some influence, but poor women had very few choices in life. Their main expected role was always domestic, managing the household and raising the children. Childbirth was also extremely dangerous for them. Many died young due to complications. Slaves were at the very bottom of society. They were legally considered property, not people. They possessed no rights at all under Roman law. Their masters could treat them with extreme cruelty. Many performed back-breaking, relentless labor daily. They toiled in dangerous mines or vast fields, or they served in wealthy urban households. Their immense suffering was widespread and accepted. This system was built on exploitation and violence. It is a fundamental dark truth about Rome. Slavery was absolutely fundamental to Rome's economy. Millions of people were cruelly enslaved. They often came from newly conquered territories, or they were simply born into a life of slavery. Life as a slave was typically brutal and short. Punishments were incredibly harsh for any mistake. Attempted escape was nearly impossible and severely punished. The system dehumanized countless individuals systematically. This is a profound dark stain on Rome's history. It powered the empire's wealth and expansion. Gladiator games were hugely popular across the empire. These were bloody, violent public spectacles. Men, and sometimes even women, fought to the death. They fought each other or hunted wild animals. The huge crowds roared loudly for more violence. Emperors used these games to gain public popularity. It was a calculated way to distract the masses, a cynical form of bread and circuses policy. keeping the populace fed and entertained, not thinking. This maintained social control through spectacle. The Colosseum stands as a famous Roman symbol, but it was primarily a place of death. Thousands of beings died there for public entertainment. Not just skilled gladiators, but also common criminals and persecuted minority groups like early Christians. Public punishments were deliberately shocking and cruel. Crucifixion was a common fate for non-citizens. It was designed to instill maximum fear, a visible deterrent against rebellion or crime. The state asserted its power through such displays. Roman law could be exceptionally harsh and unforgiving. Justice was certainly not equal for all people. The rich and powerful often escaped severe penalties. The poor and unconnected faced brutal punishments. Torture was routinely used to extract confessions, even if the accused person was actually innocent. Forms of execution were designed to be agonizing. This entire system maintained social order through fear. It starkly showed the state's absolute final power. Compliance was ensured by the threat of pain. Some Roman emperors were truly terrible rulers. Caligula was infamous for his unpredictable cruelty. He was also widely seen as dangerously insane. Nero famously persecuted Christians after Rome's Great Fire. He fiddled while Rome burned, legend often says. Though that specific part is likely just a myth, their reigns clearly show power's corrupting influence. They abused their almost absolute authority frequently. Their actions caused widespread suffering and instability, leaving legacies of fear and mismanagement. Elagabalus was another particularly notorious emperor. He was very young, only a teenager, and from Syria. He controversially tried to impose a new sun god. His radical religious reforms shocked traditional Romans. He was also known for extreme personal decadence and very scandalous, unconventional personal behavior. His short reign was chaotic and ended violently. He is a lesser-known but truly fascinating figure. His story highlights cultural clashes and imperial instability. A brief but vivid example of imperial excess. Were there actual secret societies in ancient Rome? Not quite like in modern spy novels, probably. But some influential groups operated in the shadows. Various mystery cults offered private, exclusive worship, like the popular cults of Isis or Mithras. These provided spiritual alternatives to state religion. Political conspiracies certainly existed throughout Roman history. Ambitious senators often plotted against emperors they disliked. These hidden undercurrents shaped Roman history quietly, revealing the tensions beneath the surface of power. Rome's many dark secrets still hold lessons for us. Great visible power can hide great unseen injustice. Deep social inequality can destroy societies from within. The widespread hunger for brutal entertainment is disturbing. The flagrant abuse of power is an old, sad story. These significant problems are not unique to Rome. We can see troubling echoes of them today, in our own societies around the modern world. Studying Rome's shadows helps us understand our own world, and perhaps to avoid repeating its worst mistakes.